It's Mark, Old Ops Guy Halpern here. Coming to you this week with this week's Dallas Cowboy news. I will have a full update on the Lions by tomorrow afternoon. Dallas Cowboys played the Seattle Seahawks last year, and in a preseason game, this ended up being a nice little test of both teams' secondary, and Seattle did run a little bit of their first stringers, a little bit, not much. Let's talk about what Seattle did and where they faltered. Well, let's first, poor Jacob Eason has attempts 2 passes for a total of 7 yards, and one of them and then one pick. Jacob Eason isn't going to make this team, I don't think. Geno Smith, 3 for 6, 43 yards. There was nothing wrong with that, but somebody got locked up, and his name was Drew. He went 13 for 24, 171 with a touchdown. But listen to this, 3 picks. Now, against the Dallas secondary that is pretty much returning from last year, who were averaging 2 picks a game almost, it's not that surprising. We know that the talent in Seattle has really been decimated with the loss of Russell Wilson and several other players. They were able to keep DK Metcalf there, which is good. I don't know how that's going to play out for Tyler Lockett, but we will see. As for Seattle, otherwise, 30 total for the team of 31 carries, 121 yards. DJ Dallas accumulating 75 of those yards with a touchdown. The receiving had 18 total receptions for 221 yards and a touchdown. Penny Hart caught the lone touchdown. And, Cade Johnson, nothing really special, but again, another week with 3 or more receptions. So, I mean, they're trying to find wide receivers and other little fillers for that Seattle team. On the Dallas side of the ball, a lot different. As for the Dallas rushing, 36 carries for 128 yards, no end zone dances here. Shampkin and Malik Davis did the bulk of it. Shampkin with 13 for 54, Malik Davis 15 for 44. So they both had a very good preseason game. You have to think that with Zeke 1 and Tony 2, that it's possible they might keep one of these guys around, but they most likely might move to the practice squad, depending on what the club is sitting at with the 53-man roster, especially with the huge loss of Tyron Smith to a torn hamstring off the bone. Now, I've had a torn hamstring. Those hurt, but I've never had mine like his, that he needs surgery to physically put it back on, and then pretty much he's done for the year. I mean, I don't expect him to come back this year. This also, considering his age and everything, could be a career-ending decision. So, we'll keep eye on that. As for the receiving, 19 for 173 and 3 touchdowns. Touchdowns came from Penny Hendershot, which, by the way, I had to look him up because never heard of him. 3 for 39 with the touchdown. Brandon Smith had a nice little game. 3 for 27 and a touchdown. And then for the second week in a row, Simi Fehako on his only drive he was out there, 2 for 8 and a touchdown. I think of the receivers that are in the backup stage, you're going to be looking at Simi Fehako and Jake Ferguson, but Devontae Turpin is going to be on the special teams, and he did have a reception last night for 8 yards. So he can run routes and catch the ball. And with his speed and a little time with Dak every day, a weapon like that for them to have would be awesome. As the quarterbacks go, Dallas used the same 3 as they have over the last week. Will Grier had another, nice game. Not a lot of yardage, 88 yards on 12 to 22, with 2 touchdowns, which is great. Ben DiNucci with his 2 drives went 5 and 9, 65 yards and a touchdown. And then poor Cooper only had 5 attempts and completed 2 for a total of 20 yards. let me put it this way. The Dallas quarterbacks didn't throw an interception for the second week in a row. That's encouraging. However, these are not the numbers. I mean, yes, it's preseason and they're trying multiple people out. We don't know what Will Greer's numbers would have been if he played a full game or DiNucci. That's not the question. The question are backups good enough that if Dak Prescott goes down, are they are any of them going to be able to replace Prescott? No, that's been my thing since the end of the Romo era. Is if you're paying someone like Dak Prescott to be the chief and commander of your team and to be out there directing, and you're laying all this money out on this one guy who has had injury problems over the last few years, with the broken ankle 2 years ago, last year it was a calf problem. They need a quarterback with the similar abilities as Dak has. So that's throwing and being able to scramble when needed. Yes, anytime Dak's going to scramble, Dallas fans are going to be holding their breath because we know what happened the last time. There are quarterbacks out there, but I don't know if there's any of them fit the scheme that Stephen and Jerry Jones like and what Mike McCarthy has laid out. I think the secondary is in prime position to have another spectacular year. Trayvon Diggs probably leading the way. I'm going to predict 7 interceptions this season. Has Trayvon Diggs earned the respect like the greats, Deion Sanders and etc., where you're not going to throw his way? 2/3 of the planet is covered by water. I cover the rest. No, he's proven that he is a good defensive cornerback. He's got good hands. He's got good vision. He takes a lot of risks that sometimes burns the Cowboys, but I don't think he has the respect of all the quarterbacks out there saying, we're not going to throw that way. And we'll see. That could change. I mean, when Deion Sanders came to the Cowboys, one of his first picks came in the Las Vegas Raider game, and he was covering a deep ball downfield, and don't remember who the Raiders quarterback was, but threw it down there, and Deion went up and snagged it. And not only that, he was running back and saying, I got the ball. It's all me. Remember that? And quarterbacks didn't throw his way again. That aspect alone, taking a top receiver out of the game because your top cornerback is too afraid to be thrown at. So you're limiting your options. Going into the final game coming up, what are we going to look for out of the Dallas Cowboys? I really don't expect Dak, Zeke, Pollard. Maybe Lamb might play a drive. I mean, this close to the season, there's no prize for having a great preseason. Sometimes it dictates what your team is going to do during the season, but not all the time. The best thing right now for this week, in my humble opinion, is to sit Dak, sit Zeke. Don't play Tony Pollard or CeeDee Lamb. No Schultz. Figure out who is going to be the merry few who are going to join the Cowboys team for this year. As I said, Turpin, in my opinion, has already solidified himself a spot as he will be the special teams priority at kick and punt return, and possibly in some empty back quarterback sets. Good news is also on Michael Gallup will be returning by week 2. This is where everybody's schedules on where he should be ready are different. As you may or may not know, Gallup had torn his ACL at the end of last season, had a season-ending surgery, and has been rehabbing very, very well, and has not done anything, obviously, via preseason because he's not eligible. But Dallas didn't put him on the PUP list because the doctors said he should be ready by the first 4 weeks. Now, if you're going to put him on the PUP list, IL, he can't play for those 4 weeks. And if he's better in week 2 and you PUP IL him, then you lose him for 2 more games. So keeping him on the active roster, there's nothing wrong with it, especially if he's going to be coming back week 2, as they say. So the first game is going to be interesting for wide receiver wise. We know CeeDee Lamb is going to be the 1. We know Tolbert is going to be the 2 until Gallup comes in. And then there's going to be a mix of different players who will fill in the 3rd and 4th wide receiver positions as James Washington is out and Gallup is out. And once Washington is due back in the beginning of October and you get Gallup back, the Dallas Cowboys can't afford to really lose too much. They need to go 3-1 in the first 4 games. And the schedule is possible. And next week's report on the Cowboys, I will have a more in-depth of looking at the schedule and what my thoughts and opinions are for them going along. I hope everyone has a wonderful Saturday here, 8/27/22. And if this gets up recorded after that, I hope you had a great Saturday. Please stop by and check out the website at www.thesportsinsanitynetwork, where you can look at all our blogs and vlogs that we do. A lot of different shows you can tune into wherever you get your podcast, whether it's Spotify, Anchor, pretty much anywhere you can stream, we're there. Sports Insanity Network is out there. And in the famous words of my PIC, Mike Rifkin, namaste. And in the President Patchy's eyes, say goodnight to your mama because your mama loves you, but also say goodnight to your papa because your papa loves you as well. Take care, all. Have a nice day.